We could talk about
Welcome,
best
foolish
of-
mortals. Oh, no. Damn it, we're doing a thing, guys.
I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I just made a gesture.
Caleb is still talking.
That's true.
Welcome, foolish mortals, to the Grim Grinning Dads, the show where three Disney-obsessed dads share travel tips, hot takes, and a whole lot more. I'm Tyler, joined as always by Caleb and Charlie. We've got a fun one today. We are going to talk about Disney's brand new CEO, Josh D'Amaro. But before we get into that, just want to remind everyone that we are part of a team of travel advisors. So if you would like any of us to help out with your next vacation, Disney or otherwise, please reach out. We'll have a link in the show notes or find us on all of the socials. And then also, we do not represent in any way the Walt Disney Company. So the views and opinions we share are just our own opinions. All right, guys, so let's get into it. Disney dropped some big news this week, and they named their next CEO Josh D'Amaro. So this is, I think, very exciting news as a Parks fan. So let's first just get some initial reactions. Caleb, what do we think about the new CEO?
I think it's a great, big, beautiful D'Amaro.
You saw the title of the episode. Well done.
No, okay. So like, I'm super pumped about it, actually. Like, I think Bob Iger coming back after, Paycheck had to get the boot.
He who must not be named.
That's why I called him Paycheck.
You called him Paycheck.
He got the boot, and when he came back, I was in Disney when that happened too, which was wild. That's so funny. But when he came back, like,
Was it like an 80s movie moment where like everybody at the park cheered? They all
Pretty
heard
much.
it happen and they were like,
oh,
"Woo!"
dude, okay. So
They break out in song.
We got there. So we got there on one evening. I don't even remember what day it was, but we got there for a family vacation. That evening, we were in Disney Springs, and like the tone and the attitude of the cast members was just like droopy, not very happy, right? Like kind of miserable. We go back to our resort. I see the email come through on one of the social platforms, probably Twitter. And it had said that he had been fired, and Iger was back. The next day, cast members were so happy. Like, it was like, this isn't the same Disney we were at yesterday. What happened? And like, cast members were it was at the end of Philhar Magic in Magic Kingdom, and the cast member said, "Yep, if you enjoyed this show, my name was like Eric or something, or Aaron. If you didn't enjoy the show, my name is Bob Chapek." And
No, he
like, I
didn't.
went, "He did," and I went,
No.
"Okay."
You just high five each other as you're walking out there.
As we're
at that
walking
point.
out, I did high five him. I was like, "Okay, dude, that was great." But yeah, it was totally different, and it was. But when he was brought back, when Iger came back, everybody's thoughts were, "Who's next? And are we going to have another Paycheck problem?" And I think we're off to a great start, because if we know anything about Josh, he's willing to take a risk. Hence all the projects that are going on right now. So I'm excited. How about you, Charlie?
Yeah, I'm excited as well. Kind of learning more about him. I knew some kind of surface level things just based on things I had heard in the past. But in preparing for this episode, I was just kind of looking into the types of things that the people said about him, people who worked with him, and how he was, if you were going to get bad news, this is the guy who you would want to give you the bad news, because for some reason he would be able to make it into, it's not necessarily making it into good news, but like softening it in a way that you'd be able to be good with it and understand it. And just knowing the different projects that he's had a hand in, and just bringing a Coco ride and all of those types of things to the Disney parks is just pretty exciting. Also, I don't think I've ever seen anybody rock the hair the way that he does. That man, his hair is solid, dude. It's solid. Like, you look at him, you're like, okay, this gray, like the two shades of gray, and it's just styled
Hold on.
in a very specific way. You don't know what I'm talking about?
No, I'm gonna go look at it now.
You should look at it. You'll see it. It stands out. Um,
Yeah, it is. Yeah, he has quite the do. But yeah, just to give a little background for anyone listening who may not be familiar. So he is a 27-year Disney veteran. He started at the Disneyland Resort and has had various roles in finance and marketing and strategy. Since 2020, he's been the chairman of Disney Experiences, which oversees parks, resorts, cruise line, consumer products, and global guest experiences, which, as you might figure from listing all those things, is the largest segment within the Disney company.
Yep.
So this guy knows his stuff, and I think what makes me really optimistic is that he has that background from the parks, and it's really the first CEO in maybe since Walt himself that has had that kind of like parks experience. Because while like Eisner did a lot to expand the parks, he didn't come in with that kind of experience because he was an
Right.
entertainment guy from Paramount, I believe it was. So he had a lot of connections and focused a lot on the entertainment side, which then bled over to the parks. But I think this might go the other way. I think this is where like Josh is an experienced guy, knows the parks really well, and I think what happens in the parks will inform what happens on the entertainment side,
Correct.
not the other way around.
Yeah,
should be really exciting.
I think so.
I mean, I guess fans feel like he authentically likes what he's selling here. Like he actually enjoys these properties. Like if you watch the announcement of him talking about Coco, he's like, and finally we're bringing like he's just the excitement is just like coming out of him as he's talking about it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Well, and I think a really valuable trait for somebody in that role is to know what their limitations are and not try to be something that they're not. So, I mean, I'll use Tim Cook as an example, the Apple CEO. He's not trying to be Steve Jobs because he can't be, nor can
Right.
anyone be.
no, he's trying
But
to be
he
Tim
lets,
Apple.
she's trying to be Tim Apple, and he does that very well.
He does.
But no, he lets the people in the right roles do what they do best.
Yep.
And I think that's really what the CEO is kind of there for. I mean, yes, obviously he's going to have his input in all areas of the company, but it's not a dictatorship. Like these large companies, you have to come to a consensus because you have to answer to your board and investors. And
Right.
I mean, it is a for-profit business as much as people don't want to admit it. Like they are out there to make money, but I think the way they do that best is by delivering an experience that nobody else can, not
Mhm.
by squeezing people left, right, and center for every
Right.
last dollar.
Mhm.
Right.
I just kind of wanted to go round table. Like, what is one thing we would want to see Josh do as CEO? I know, like, we already have all the big expansions that have been announced already. So obviously that's kind of in motion already. But what is a change that we could see him making, maybe in the shorter term, that we would want to see?
One of the things that I would really enjoy seeing is actual storytelling being told in the parks. There's been a lack of that, especially in parks. Well, in like it kind of got removed out of Epcot a little bit, and I think they're starting to move that back in there a little bit now. But it's just been aside from Disneyland and Magic Kingdom, where you walk in and literally Main Street tells a story, you come to the hub, and then it's your choice to choose. Okay, Adventureland, Frontierland, Tomorrowland, Fantasyland. Like you get to choose what story you want to go in, and it's done that way. There's no other park that has that, and I think that's for one of few things. Forcing IP into parks is never a okay thing, um, and lack of creativity in coming up with ways to tell a story. Batu does okay with that. At
I mean,
Galaxy's
it's
Edge,
definitely it's muddled now with the whole timeline thing, but yeah.
right? They and that's the other thing, right? Like it did well, and now it's kind of like okay, like we're in Star Wars land now. There's no story here. It's just a place where they have all the Star Wars stuff now. So, I would really like to see storytelling come back to the park, all parks. That's my big thing.
Yeah. To kind of piggyback off what Caleb was saying, I think that the cohesion that seemed to be part of the original vision for the different parks seems to have gotten away with kind of the scope creep of like IP overload, and just kind of shoehorning all the different IPs into all the different places.
Right.
I would love to see now. Again, this is where, like, in terms of the short term, I think maybe bringing back something a goodwill gesture like Magical Express. They seem to be leading in that direction with testing out some things with having your from different resorts, having your luggage being able to be brought to specific airlines. That's pretty cool because then you have the opportunity to, you know, as they want you to do, they want you know spend more money. Um, which is kind of what happened to Brittany when she was trying to leave. Like she was like, "Well, I miss my mirrors. Well, I guess I'll go spend some more money. You know, go get
Right.
a margarita and some food." I mean, that's exactly what they want you to do. And if you have more time and you don't have to worry about your luggage and lugging it around, you know, you might pop over. You might pop over um to Disney Springs and just kind of hang out. But outside of that, I think down the line the reduction of that IP overload would be really nice. And I think there's some really small things, and I hope that he notices this, but there's some really small things that they could do that would make it so that I don't feel like I'm uh, going from Batu all of a sudden, or not even all of a sudden. I can just from Batu, I can see, you know, Woody's backyard. Not Woody's backyard,
You
Andy's
mean Andy's
backyard. You
backyard?
know who I'm talking about. Yeah. I mean, if there's one thing you can count on with the Grim Grinning Dads is that Charlie will forget the name of somebody through an episode. It will happen. But that we've talked about that multiple times where it's like one of our bigger frustrations is that it feels like we're not immersed in the place that we're supposed to be.
Right.
And the hope of, you know, I think there's some small things that they could do, like what they originally had with Batu, where like where you know you've got the tunnel there, and you know there's some sounds that start to creep in as you're going down there, and then you get into the other side, and it's just like Star Wars
Mhm.
habitat, which is really cool. So I hope that we can see something like that um, happen. But again, I think that that's a longer term thing.
Right.
But either way, it's really exciting that we do have what is it? The America's going to be called over in Animal
Tropical
Kingdom?
Oh,
Americas.
Pueblo Esperanza.
Pueblo Esperanza is going to be over there, and that's really cool. I love
I'm
that
not good
that's
at trying to
coming.
say that.
Nope, and I butchered it for sure. Without a doubt, butchered it. So, but you,
Yeah,
Tyler.
I think that the thing that comes to mind for me, I think that could be a relatively short-term fix is an improved technology experience in the parks. Improve the app for
Mhm.
both coasts. And I think improving the app to the point where we can be less reliant on being on our phones throughout the day and therefore being more present in the parks. I think that could go a long way towards improving guest experience. And that probably means, you know, overhauling or updating the Lightning Lane booking process. But I think if you enable maybe like more advanced reservations for Lightning Lane and you don't have to be on your phone constantly throughout the day, I think that would help a
Yeah.
ton. And I think that that fix could probably happen within a matter of weeks or months, not years, because it's really just updating the app and basically like training people to not have to book lightning lanes constantly, especially in Disneyland, because you really can't schedule them in
Right.
advance. So that's one thing. Like even if Disneyland moved more towards a Disney World type system where you could book some in advance, I think that would be a step in the right direction. But you're still on the phone throughout the day
Yeah.
at World. So
Yep.
that's the one thing, because I just think of like these short trips, like the one that I'm about to go on in a couple weeks. Like we have one day in Disneyland. How much of that day am I going to be staring down at my
Yes.
phone, worrying about the next thing? So I
Be
think
cool if they were
that can
away.
be improved for sure.
Be cool if they were away. Well, actually, you could probably check your screen time for the day at the end of the day and see how much time you spent in my Disney experience
You
or
should do
the
that just in
Disneyland.
case.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm really curious. But like this right here, one of these battery backups, this is something you almost have to have with you when you go on a Disney trip of any kind. If you don't have this with you, you might be going to maybe not with the newest phones, but even with the newest phones, if you're in
Mhm.
5G, you've got those turned on and you're going throughout the whole day, you're probably going to have to plug in.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I do work as a designer, so I do know how long it takes for these types of things to actually go through. So I think the um from a like an estimating what it could possibly be standpoint, if they were to take it to a designer and say we'd like to redesign, the experience here, I think conservatively they could do it in a year, because they would also have to make it work. And that app breaks down all the time. So I love that idea too. And I think the technology is something that they can definitely work on, make it so that we don't have to spend as much time in there. Um, like what am I buying? Like I love, don't get me wrong, I do love my Magic Band, but I don't wear it throughout the day. I just wear it. I just pull it out when we're about to go on a ride, and I scan it
Mhm.
and then I put it away. So like, is
Mhm.
there something that they could do to make that better? Like work I don't know, something along those lines
Or
where it
or make it
could,
useful like my Apple Watch.
yeah, make it useful. Well, I mean, obviously that would cost more money,
Well,
but
but
well,
but
why not use the Apple Watch? Why not leverage the fact that people do have those? And
Because then they'd stop making money hand over fist on Magic Bands.
I know, I understand the
Says the guy who
concept
has
behind it.
like a dozen of them.
Right. Well, yes, and you may, like, when we were at land, you were like, you had us all searching for that one for the 70th anniversary band.
Yeah, I
Which
did.
which shows you they don't have to stop making them. I'm not saying that they need to stop. Um, and would I still buy a special edition one even if my watch did some better things? Sure. I don't know how any of that, like, again, I'm not working on those specific designs or those products right now, so I don't know what that would even look like. How would your watch, make that better? But that is one of the things, like, constantly when you're reading articles about Disney World, you're doing that research, you see how much time people have to spend doing, like they tell you in all of the videos, you got to play the roulette, Lightning Lane roulette. You'll
Mhm.
get on that ride, but you got to be playing that roulette, and it's literally like swipe down, like swipe down, like just checking it every so often and all of that stuff.
Would you guys be opposed to a lightning lane system similar to what Universal has with Express Pass?
Uh,
You mean like just paying that much extra for it?
Well,
because they have
and
that, right?
then
Isn't that
have that
Premier?
included in like their deluxe resorts.
Oh,
Like, if you're staying at a deluxe resort, it's included.
mm,
I mean, I think that's a net positive because you were then justifying the cost of those deluxe resorts a little bit more.
yeah,
Um, but I don't know that the deluxe resorts are hurting for demand. I
they are
think that's the
not.
kind of move you make when you're trying to encourage more bookings. Every time when I'm on the Disney travel agent's website, you can see like how many
Mhm.
times each property was booked in the last 24 hours or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
you
yeah.
scroll down, like Polynesian booked 850 times in the last 24 hours. Like
Right.
they don't have to encourage the bookings. So I don't know that that's the route they would go. But I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it because I think from a value standpoint, it makes the value better. But I don't know that that's how Disney is looking at it.
Yeah.
Mm. I love that idea too, but I agree with Tyler's points. I'm not sure that and that's the thing that's a hard thing when we're like, wow, like we were talking about how, Caleb, you were looking and Magic Kingdom was like $196 for one day with
Mhm.
nothing else included, just a straight up ticket cost. Like,
Right.
that's bananas, to me. And but people are still going, but are like, I think as a company, Disney is good at being self-aware. So I think that they can look at the different times of year and they can see that they're losing money at certain times. or not necessarily losing money, but not making as much money, we'll say.
Sure.
And the hope is that they could do something like, even during tier 1 value dates, guests are hard pressed to find tickets under $110 for a day. It's crazy. And we also don't one of the things I was going to talk about on last podcast is we don't talk about the fact that Lightning Lane is almost a must have unless you want to wait, spend most of your day waiting in lines. Like, you've got to do it.
I tell every client, like, let's just pretend that Lightning Lane is just part of your ticket cost, because I think you're sabotaging your own experience if you don't have it.
Yep.
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, so back to what you were saying about cost. I just pulled it up for February 27th. Okay, it's a Friday. If I wanted to go to Magic Kingdom, $199. If I wanted to go to Epcot or Hollywood Studios, $194. If I wanted to go to Animal Kingdom, $179.
That's a ripoff right now.
Yeah.
Because that is, I mean, we can argue all we want about a half-day park. That is 1,000% a half-day park at best for the next
Right now.
year.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that's just kind of missing.
So there's no reason to go to Animal Kingdom unless you have a park hopper.
And that's just a one-day ticket. That's just a one-day ticket to one park.
Yeah,
that's not park hopper.
That's crazy.
That's not any of that.
Yeah.
That's it's insane. Like, you think about it, and you're just like, guys. Like,
how much is the season pass?
But I think, like,
right.
Well, what, like 1,800, 1,850, something like that. Which, I mean, I guess you'd have to math it out. Like, for somebody like Caleb, it makes sense.
100%.
With the amount of times that he's going down there. I didn't mean to say that in a derogatory way.
It makes it 100% made sense.
Yes. Yeah.
Last year, it would have made sense last year, 100%.
If you knew in January that you were going to go to Disney as many times as you did last year, you would have bought.
I would have bought it.
Pass.
I would have bought
without
it.
A doubt. Without a doubt, you would have.
No.
Wouldn't even considered it.
But I guess
like,
I guess the math makes sense too, because like a Magic Key to Disneyland is about $950. I mean, there's a couple different tiers, so it's roughly half the cost of the Disney World annual pass, but you're getting, 2 parks instead of 4. So that math is mathing for me, I think.
I would
still can't quite justify it for myself, just because the break-even point is a little bit beyond my normal visiting. So I'd have to force myself to take a couple extra trips, and then it's not just the ticket cost, it's the
flights,
travel, it's the lodging, it's all of that. So that's where I'm not quite at the point where I can justify it, because I've been averaging 2 to 3. I'd probably have to do more like 6 trips to break even on that.
So back to prices. So I went the week of Christmas this year.
Oh. Okay.
Magic Kingdom, $204. Epcot, $199. Hollywood Studios, $204. Animal Kingdom, $184.
It sounds like everything went up by $5 for that week. That's compared to February 27th.
Right.
Secondly, they have talked about the fact that they're going to be doing dynamic pricing. Now, the dynamic pricing, for anyone who doesn't understand, is if I don't, so let's say that I'm going in November and I buy my tickets now. That cost now may not be the same cost as it is in November. It might be, probably will be higher.
Yeah.
So as the year goes on, it's
basically
go up.
It's airline style pricing.
Yep. Yeah.
Which is what Universal has done for a while.
Mm-hmm. It's smart.
Which is fine. Right. It encourages people to book sooner.
Yeah.
Right.
Which we like.
Which is fine.
You need to plan.
But it's also one of those things, like I was contemplating this. We watched the Disneyland handcrafted documentary, Josh D'Amaro being promoted to CEO, all these changes that are happening in Magic Kingdom, not Epcot, Hollywood Studios, Animal Kingdom, all these things that are happening. Do I think that the price would go up because of that? Of course. but I think we're coming to a point now where I think Josh needs to think about this is, are we starting to price people out?
But they've been pricing people out.
They have.
Right.
And I
Well,
honestly, the cynical part of me thinks they do it kind of by design.
sure.
I think pricing people out is a way
Yeah.
to limit capacity.
That's fair.
And
I
I'm
mean,
not saying
yeah,
that's a good decision, but I think it's just something that, like, I think they look at it as like, well, you know, this is a way we can say we can limit it without saying that we're limiting.
right.
And I think one thing we can probably count on is that the prices for the tickets don't go down. But I know we've touched on this before. I think it highlights the value of, if you're going to do a package to a
Right.
place like Walt Disney World, obviously, like, the more days you have, the better the value is.
Right.
And there's still
Well,
plenty of options. I mean, that's the advantage that the property of that size has, is that many more hotel options. So you're not forced to stay somewhere that's, $500 a night. There's plenty of options that are $200 a night. But there's some, pros and cons with that. But
right.
there are ways to do it on just about any budget, depending on, time of year.
Right. Well, the reason why I was bringing that up is we were talking Lightning Lane. So like you're talking, that's per person, $204 to Magic Kingdom per person before Lightning Lane. Lightning Lane that day is going to that's the week of Christmas. So Lightning Lane is going to be at its top tier pricing, which is what?
40 bucks.
40 bucks, yeah.
Right. So a family of 4, you're dropping $800 on park tickets. Plus you're going to drop
Plus another $160 on Lightning
another
Lane.
$200. That's
Yeah.
$1,000 for one day.
But I guess my question would be, for that week, how many guests are doing a one-day trip versus part of a package?
Right. Well, I'm just throwing it out there, right? Pricing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're
just-
definitely losing value only going a single day, and I
Correct.
know that because, like, I mean, we're about to do the single day trip, and that is not the most cost effective thing to do, but it's just the
not.
way the schedules work, so we're going to do it. I think the other interesting thing is, we talked about hotels. I'm curious to see, now that the Disneyland hotels have taken away the one good benefit that they had, how does that affect their business? Because when we talked about, like, the deluxe resorts in Florida aren't really hurting for demand, I'll be curious to see if it changes demand for the California ones, because there are so many other more affordable options that are the same distance from the park.
And like they tried to compensate for it by saying that you get one multi-experience Lightning Lane
for your whole trip, not per day.
Right. Not per day, for your trip.
Yeah.
Like,
so 1 day trip or a 7-day trip, it's the same thing. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right. Like, if I want to go to the park 3 days and I only get one Lightning Lane,
for all the extra that you're spending, it's outrageous. Yeah. I mean, it was a stretch before to justify staying on property. Now I don't think it's justifiable at all.
Other than to say
next trip?
Majestic.
Other than to take a picture out front of the Disneyland Hotel and say, I stayed at the Disneyland Hotel.
You could do that anyway.
Like,
well, and I had to do it at least once.
Yep.
And it was amazing. I love the design of that hotel. But the thing is, like,
cool.
all of those design details you can go and appreciate without having to stay there.
Right.
Because you can walk through the lobby, you can go to Trader Sam's. Like, the only thing you really can't do is use the pool, which we didn't do anyway because we went in. It was January of last year when we went. So, yeah, no big deal there. But yeah, it's just, so to tie this kind of back to Josh tomorrow. I don't see the cost necessarily coming down, but I could see better value added to the costs that are there.
Right.
Because I do think he understands guest experience more than somebody like Iger. And I like Iger. I think he's done a lot of good for the company. I think his legacy, though, will be all the acquisitions for, Marvel and Lucasfilm and 20th Century Fox, not so much the park stuff. Partially because by the time a lot of that stuff opens, Josh is going to be the CEO. So I think he's going to get the credit. Plus, he was the head of experiences when those things were announced.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to get a lot of the credit for that.
Same with
just
Abu
like
Dhabi.
he would get the blame if something goes wrong. but yeah, I just think there's ways to add value without adding a ton of cost to the company, and then you can better justify what you're charging people.
Yeah.
Because I mean, obviously, like people like us are going to go almost no matter what, but that doesn't mean we don't want value for the money. Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so one of the last like notes that I had made was potentially having some high quality free entertainment that they have kind of gotten away from. I mean, so like street performers, better, different nighttime spectaculars, character parades. I mean, those types of things. Those would give people kind of the illusion that their $200 purchase for that day was actually, a little bit more valuable than just having that ride on Space Mountain or, Tiana's, I guess, if you want to do that one, which doesn't seem as popular as when it first started. The lines have seemed really thin the last couple times that I've been, and I like as far as like watching the ride times and the wait times, just seeing that it's a lot smaller. But it would be cool to see. Really excited to see what happens. It certainly goes along with the title of the episode, and that we're hoping that it's going to be a great, big, beautiful tomorrow.
Yeah,
So
it's gonna be good. I think it's gonna be good. I'm optimistic that he's gonna bring some value back. Right. I think, like you said, Charlie, bringing back a Magical Express is an obvious thing to do, especially when prices are as high as they are. I also think that I don't know why they got away from it.
Was
and
that a
every
COVID?
time,
I think it was a COVID.
well,
thing.
I was talking.
yeah.
I was gonna say the Magic Bands being included. Like if you've never been before, getting the free basic Magic Bands. Granted, they don't have many of those left anymore, and they've gone to the Magic Band Pluses now. But everything's
Yeah.
a plus, and it's weird now.
Grim Grinning Dads Plus coming soon.
Yeah, it's just dumb. But like, I don't know, like doing stuff like that. Like, I think that would be a good move. And I think that's something that he's experienced, right? He's experienced having it, and now it's being taken away, and dissatisfaction. I also think that, like, I don't know, the biggest gripe that I have about the parks is mostly Epcot right now, because like it just turned into like a over glorified shopping mall with some like up front of Epcot and World Celebration. Okay, like you got the Starbucks, you got a quick service food place, you got the
Creation
shops,
Yeah.
right? And like that's it.
No, I'm more focused on the big attraction in the back half of the park.
Right. Well, and that's fair, but like do something there. Like it just feels like a giant shopping center. Like what?
I mean, the critics of that park say it's just like
An Apple store.
I mean, it's well, they might say that, but they just say like, oh, there's no rides there. It's just an excuse to charge people more for food and drinks. Like, well, okay, but it's still a one of a kind. And
yeah. Oh, I love Epcot.
Well, not to get off on that tangent again, but what I'm hoping for kind of as a long-term outlook is a little bit more of a long-term vision and being a little bit less reactive when it comes to things, especially on the entertainment side. So like the future of something like Marvel or Star Wars, like Marvel's been pretty good about having a long-term plan. Can Star Wars have a long-term plan and stick to it and not overreact if one thing doesn't do quite as well as you expect? I'm hoping having somebody, I forget her name, sorry, but the new chief creative officer will just let the right people do their jobs and see it all the way through.
Isn't Filoni the new Lucasfilm guy? Yeah. Shoot, just let him run. Just say go for it.
I really hope
do.
Yeah.
Pull a Kevin Feige and just say go for it.
Yeah. And not everything has to be, connected in the way that Marvel films are, but I think he's going to raise the floor of the quality. And there's no reason they can't do that across all segments of the company too. So, all right. Well, Charlie, you had a segment that you refused to tell us about because you didn't want to spoil anything. So without any further ado, What is your segment for this week?
No.
All right. This segment is called CEO Switcheroo.
Okay.
The board? Oh, God. Okay. Calm down. Act professional. You're a CEO. You're a businessman. You're wearing a tie that chokes you. Clears. Yeah. Tell them I'll just be right there. Just gotta put on my shoes. Okay. Walk cool. Don't do the silly walk. Just stride. Hey, how you doing? Nice Mickey ears. Are those regulation? Looking good. Keep it together, Adam. Just don't mention Rob Schneider and you'll be fine. There seems to be a note here. Let me see that. Don't mess this up. The fate of the magic is in your hands. Oh, boy. Wow. That's a lot of pressure. That's like fourth quarter, bases loaded, and the bat is made of Jell-O pressure.
What?
Here's what we're going to do. You guys write this down. Number 1, every churro is now 3 feet long. Mandatory. Number 2, we're replacing the It's a Small World song with Telephone Line by ELO. Maybe just me screaming gibberish. Yabba yabba do. We'll test it with an audience. And number 3, dress code. No more suits. Everyone wears basketball shorts and hoodies. Even the princesses. Especially the princesses. It's about comfort, people. Let the magic breathe. Am I sure? I'm the CEO, baby. Shooby-dooby-doo. Now, somebody get me Gatorade and get Goofy on the phone. I got an idea for a movie where he plays my angry neighbor.
What? I was not expecting
Well
that.
And
That was great.
Well done.
I had 2 of them, and I just did the first one.
Nice. I have no follow up to that. No notes.
That's great.
Thanks.
You do an impeccable Adam Sandler.
I don't know if I'd say impeccable, but you do an Adam Sandler.
I do an Adam Sandler. I don't know if I'd call it impeccable.
That's great. I like. Shoot, close my eyes. I'm pretty sure it's Adam Sandler on the other end.
Just picturing him doing that weird walk around the park.
Yeah, no. He said I said to myself, "Don't do the weird walk." He's just walking through. Don't do a weird walk. Don't mention Rob Schneider because he's in everything.
No, we cannot mention Rob Schneider.
We can't anymore.
All right, guys.
Man.
So to wrap us up, I have one more question, and this is to follow up from our Muppet Show live stream that we did this past week. So thanks to everybody who joined us on TikTok Live. We appreciate you. And we will hopefully be doing more things like that. Nice, Charlie. So my question is, so I think it's probably safe to say the Muppets are going to get some more content coming up because the reception to this Muppet Show special has been nothing but positive as far as I've seen. So while I do hope they get more of the variety show, because I think that's where they do their best work, I wanted to throw out a question. If they were going to do another remake or retelling of a classic story a la Treasure Island or Christmas Carol, what would we like to see them do? And I have an answer, but I want to hear from you guys. What?
The Water Boy.
No, the Muppets Water Boy.
The Muppets Water Boy.
That's not a classic story, Charlie.
That's a classic.
Sorry.
So who would be the one human actor still in the Water Boy? Would it still be Adam Sandler, just surrounded by Muppets?
It'd be Adam Sandler, and he'd do the Henry Winkler character.
He'd be the coach.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
Mom said.
Classic movie?
Yeah. Okay. Classic.
Does it have to be a Disney one?
I mean, I think it probably helps because they could actually have the rights to do it.
They could do it,
but I don't think it has to be.
Redoing the full movie though.
I mean, it might be cool to see Mary Poppins.
Oh, I don't hate that.
Who's Mary Poppins though?
Is Miss Piggy Mary Poppins?
Poppins.
No, maybe.
I think Kermit would have to be Mary Poppins.
And Kermit is the Dick Van Dyke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
That'd be cool. I would say Star Wars, but I don't that's not in classic yet.
Well,
I mean, it would work, but they've done. I feel like they've done some of that stuff already, a little bit.
Yeah, they've done like spoofs here and there. Yeah.
That's a
So my idea that I
classic.
had, that I don't know, I mean, it's not a classic in the sense of like Treasure Island, but picture Muppets Hamilton.
Oh, that'd be funny.
Oh my gosh, that would be
That'd
hilarious.
be
I think
that'd
that
be
could be
hilarious.
great. And I think the only human actor I would bring back Leslie Odom Jr. as Aaron Burr, because he's the original Aaron Burr, but I would have everybody else around him as a Muppet. Kermit as Alexander Hamilton, of course. Sam Eagle as George Washington. Just
Of
writes
course.
itself. Yeah. I can picture that, and I want all of that. I think that would
I can
be
picture that.
incredible.
That'd be
Yeah,
fun.
they'd have to
be really fun.
muppify that because it's some pretty serious subject material that they cover in that. So
Yes.
to make that less serious, I think would be interesting. But
Yeah,
I mean, you
I
never
think
know.
they could kind of dance around it like the way, because I mean, Treasure Island is a pretty violent story,
bit.
and
It's a
they
very
kind of
Just a
violent
little.
story.
muppify it a little bit there.
Mhm.
So I think that there's ways to do it.
For sure. I like that. I like that a lot.
That'd be fun. That'd be
Yeah, and
really
that's a
fun.
more recent one. It's not. Yeah.
Yes, but I think it's been popular enough that it could be in like classic territory now.
Yeah,
And I don't know that Lin-Manuel would want to like tarnish the story by
He
doing a
might get
Muppets version.
involved though. He's involved.
Yeah,
He's in Percy Jackson.
Yeah,
He plays.
he's
he plays
basically
Hermes.
like. I think Disney has him under lock and key forever and ever.
till he's 90.
Till he's
Yeah.
90. So I still don't understand why he's Hermes. Like, of the things that you could bring him, like, I feel like they're leading up to like an episode where Hermes just has like a major singing thing where he does, like, where he's just sings, because not that he's not talented as an actor, because he is. He works as an actor, but he's more well known for his writing and his singing. So having him as Hermes has been interesting, but yeah, I think that he could be involved as well.
Yeah, I think
and
he'd
write
have
some of
to
that
be
stuff.
and like rewrite some of the songs
Yeah.
a little bit more
Did-
Muppet centric.
Did they do a Muppets Oliver?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't.
That'd
think
be
so
kind of
either.
cool.
Yeah, I
Like,
think
that'd
so.
be really.
What my brain is doing right now, because they did a lot of skits where they've done things like that, and I'm not sure if they did like a whole feature film on that.
Right.
I'm actually pretty
I don't
sure they
think-
didn't.
I don't think they've done a feature film. They might have done a skit on it, but like that'd be another classic they could do.
All right, there
That'd
are
be-
quite a
like,
few.
that'd be a real.
They got Muppets from Space. That was not a classic one. They did Wizard of Oz, which I did not know. Did you guys know they did Wizard of Oz?
I don't think I've seen that.
No,
I
2005.
didn't know. That's probably
okay.
why.
So the only remake of a classic property was Treasure Island.
And Christmas
Well,
Carol.
Yeah, Christmas
Well,
Carol.
right. Sorry. Yeah, I forgot about Christmas Carol, but like that's been remade so many times that it's like
Yeah.
you almost forget that it was remade. We do love that one, by the way.
Oh, I think it's the best version of that story.
It's a good story. So Tim Curry was in
don't
Treasure
think
Island.
To be honest, I don't think I've actually seen that. To be honest,
Christmas Carol?
What? Muppet
Yeah, the
Christmas
Muppets.
Carol?
yeah,
What? Oh my God.
I don't think
Caleb.
I've seen it. I don't think I've seen it.
Caleb. All right. Homework today.
Holy moly.
It's not it's not editing the podcast. It's watching Muppet Christmas
it
Carol
is,
in the
it is-
middle of February.
It is a It is a Super Bowl Sunday today, sir.
It certainly is. I'll be
who
I'll be
cares?
checking out. Hey, Green Day's opening. I'm there.
I do care
I'm all
about
there
that.
for that.
They're gonna
I-
say something. It's gonna be
They
great.
are gonna say some stuff. Appreciate those guys.
I don't like
Yeah.
Green Day.
Oh man, missing
Ever
out.
s-
They're so
And
fun.
this has
the
been our
last-
segment, Hot Takes That Suck with Caleb.
the last time that I enjoyed Green Day was American Idiot,
Yeah.
and
American
after
Idiot
that,
was-
it's just
was
been
Solid.
not good.
Yeah, there's more recent stuff is not great, but it doesn't take away from their earlier stuff. I enjoy them. They're fun.
On an opposite note, Nickelback. I like Nickelback.
Talk about another hot take. Wow. And on that note, that is going to wrap up another episode of the Grim Grinning Dads. Please join us on all of the socials, wherever you get your podcasts, and come hang out with us the next time the dads come out to socialize.
You're CEO now.